The Oodie is one of those viral social media products that seems to be an overnight success, reportedly selling millions of units mainly through social media. And in this video, we're going to take a look at exactly how they've done it, what's going really well with the digital marketing, and also what are the areas of opportunity for growth. Now, if you don't know the Oodie, it's a sort of representation of the logical conclusion of the loungewear trend, a weighted blanket that you wear. If you've ever thought, I would love to live in my bed, but still move around, then this is basically it. It's a perfect lockdown product for those that crave comfort while the big bad world rages outside, a sort of apparel version of a bowl of ice cream and reality TV. And it's blown up on social and sold millions of units, as we say. So let's look at some of the good things that they're doing with their digital marketing, and then we'll also look at some things where there is room for opportunity, because there is definitely some. So, as we would expect for a brand that has been built primarily on social, their social posts are very, very good, and they are extremely responsive when it comes to comments. So, we can see that their social posts are a really cool mixture of their product focus, so they're all about the Oodie, but they're not overly pitchy. Some of this is user-generated content as well. We can see, for example, this. So we're not necessarily straying away from the Oodie focused stuff. This is probably about as far as it gets, but we're still selling this idea of loungewear, about relaxing, about comfort, right? But loads of these posts feature Oodies, so they never stray too far from the brand at all. Very similar thing with Insta. In fact, I think they might even be using the same content on Insta. And whilst they're not posting a huge amount, so looks like they're up to about 20 odd posts per month, which really isn't a lot. We looked at Fashion Nova posting 30 times a day, so it's not a huge volume of posts for a brand that is social first, that is social native, but a lot of their posts come from influencers that they've worked with rather than on their own channels. We see some glimpses of their influencer strategy. For example, we've got posts like this where the Oodie is being tagged, and we've got voucher codes. And it seems like there's a bit of a trend where they've targeted female Twitch streamers. We can see a few of these, and even our own Jess from Exposure Ninja has an Oodie voucher code, so we know that that's a thing. We can also see that they've got this Oodie Squad Instagram channel, which seems to be a kind of creator channel where they collect people that are working for Oodie and have used Oodie hashtags, and they're basically helping them to come up with different types of Oodie content and kind of encouraging Instagram users to go over to TikTok and post there. So we've got tips about those types of things as well. So that shows that this has been a very, very heavy focus. On TikTok, this is another channel that are doing really well on. They do have a brand page, and they've got a reasonable number of followers here. We can see the view counts of their own brand TikTok posts, kind of 4 figures mostly, some 5 figures, but you know, definitely less than 50,000 views. If we look at influencer posts, so we can see why this is such an important strategy for them to work with influencers, because the influencer posts tend to get much, much higher view counts. And we've got plenty here that are in 6 figures and 7 figures as well. So we can see that it's a similar story on Instagram and TikTok. You've got the Oodie and you've got their own social channels, but then the real traction is when they are featured on influencer channels, and that's the stuff that's really getting the eyeballs here. Another thing that they're doing really well is around their ad creative, and particularly their Facebook ad creative. And it's clear that they are batch creating their ads. So here we're looking at the Facebook ad library, which shows us all the ads that they are running at any one point, and we can see this set coming up over and over again. So what they've got is they've got this kind of home set, and you can see they're switching out the pictures, they're switching out the rug and the sofa, it looks like, and they're filming loads of videos in one go in this same set, which is a really smart thing to do. When we're working with clients, often one of the most difficult things to get over is the fact that many businesses don't have much video content that they can use to promote their product. So this is a smart way of getting around that. You just get one set, or you go and film a whole bunch of stuff in one location. They're using different actors. You can see we've got people here. So in this ad, she's representing the mum. You could run this ad to people that are mums, and in this ad, she's representing the friend. It's the same actor, and they're just kind of batching these, and they're creating loads of different variants of the creative, which they can then push out on social to different audiences. So that's really smart. Now, what about the room for opportunity? Well, there is actually quite a lot of low-hanging fruit here, as there often is with a business that has grown very quickly. Dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's is very difficult to do. First and foremost, you search for the Oodie, and what do? You get other brands trying to steal that traffic. This is a very compelling ad headline, a must read before buying. This type of thing, like don't buy this until you have X, can get really good click-through rate, like 5, 6, 7% type things. And what this means is because the Oodie isn't advertising with a text ad on their brand name, that this original, they're going to get a whole bunch of people clicking on it that were going to buy Oodies, didn't click on the shopping ads, haven't got all the way to the organic results. So the Oodie needs to be bidding for their brand name in text search. There's absolutely no alternative. You have to be doing that. If you've got competitors bidding on your brand name, you have to fight for that, particularly if they're running decent ads like this. Also got Amazon bidding. And that's fair, they're going to get the sale anyway, but obviously a much lower margin if they're relying on Amazon to do that sales job. So I'd love to see them bidding on their own brand name. Pretty basic thing, but just some real low-hanging fruit there. The bigger opportunity here is with the website. And honestly, the website feels a bit like an afterthought for such a cool current brand. I mean, where else are you going to be able to lounge around in a sheet covered in pictures of garlic bread? The website feels really kind of old and a bit of an afterthought, if I'm completely honest. Now, there are definitely some good things about it. For example, the implementation here of what would often be a benefits bar, but they've kind of highlighted these benefits on the product category page. Really smart and not something that you see very often. So that's really cool. We've got a hint of credibility here, although we're going to come back to that. Other things that they've done well. Their shopping cart, which is Shopify, really good layout here where they've got some benefits, reasons why to choose the Oodie. So just because you're in the cart doesn't mean that they're taking your order for granted, and they're still encouraging you to go through. This is great and improves cart abandonment. But really, there are huge opportunities. For example, where is the rest of the social proof, right? You can go on the homepage. Considering that this is a brand that has sold millions of units and gone completely viral, where is the social proof? Where is the embedded social posts? Where are the influencers? Where's the feed of products tagged Oodie? Where are the number of reviews? Where's the ticker showing the number of products sold? Nowhere to be found. You go on the product page, similar sort of thing. There's a really small amount of content here. Yes, we've got some reasons to buy, but some of these are inconsistent. The Oodie's 30% longer, then it's 10% longer. You know, this is a really unconvincing product page, and considering they've done so much work to build the brand off the website, you'd think having a really high performing website would be an absolute no-brainer, and yet there's just very little of that at all. We've got a hint of scarcity. Due to high demand, we often sell out. Well, let's get something in here with, you know, products being bought, like a little ticker. Scarcity, it's selling out. You must buy before X. They've got a countdown timer in the checkout, but there's nothing on the product page. So lots of things could be done on this product page to improve. And then finally, considering this is the brand that's been built so heavily on the kind of influencer collaboration, this partnerships thing just is an email address. It just loads your email. That's it. If we compare this to something like the Fashion Nova Babes squad thing, where you have to put your email in and then you go through a sign-up process, it's a fantastic implementation of the partnership affiliate program because it's email capture as well. So they can then repeatedly message out to you whether or not they consider that you're qualified for their partner program. They can keep messaging you. Whereas with the Oodie, we have absolutely none of that. Presumably their influencer program is mostly them going out to people. They're now at a stage where they're going to get a lot of inbound requests. If they have a nice, clear, simple way for people to apply to the partnership program, that would be much easier. You could even make it self-serve where they get their own voucher codes and the whole thing can happen automatically. So tons of low-hanging fruit here, but a great example if you're selling direct to consumer or you want to be one of these trending brands, the Oodie is definitely one to look at. One of the fundamental things that we haven't really talked about is that this is a great product market fit. It came at a good time. It works really well on social. There is a piece here where the product is kind of so good, and I don't mean quality wise, I don't mean any of that stuff. I mean good as in it's a great fit for this audience, that a lot of the marketing stuff becomes much easier. So they're able to get away with, you know, gaps like this product page, gaps like this entire website. It still does a decent job because people see the product and they like it and they get it. So there's a lot to be said there for product research, testing lots of products and seeing what sticks. Interesting that Davey Fogarty, the guy who started the business, started off selling weighted blankets and then pivoted to this, which obviously got a lot more traction a lot faster. So I hope you found that useful. If you want a review of your website and your digital marketing to look for the opportunities to grow, then you can request a free review from the team here at Exposure Ninja. All you need to do is go to exposureninja.com, hit the big button to request your free review. One of the team will analyze your website, your digital marketing, and your competitors. They will record you a 15-minute video showing you how to generate more leads and sales through your website over the next 6 to 12 months. It's completely free of charge. There's no obligation to use our agency services, and we won't publish your review publicly like we've done with this one. So go to exposureninja.com/review to request your free website and digital marketing review today. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. See you next time.